So my name's Charlie. This is Hat the Body, Hat the Mind. My goal is to help men who struggle with their mental health. And I plan to do that by helping people to build confidence. And that is because confidence is something I struggled with for a long period of time. I think I was always very self-conscious about who I was and how I looked. And that's kind of what got me into the gym in the first place. I mean, I did the stereotypical go for a breakup, and then I ended up getting dragged to the gym by two of my best mates, still two of my best mates to this day. And through that process, I was became a personal trainer because having conversations with people and trying to help people out is what actually started to give me a bit of life back. I then did a couple of counseling courses, and that helped me to understand how to help clients who are dealing with emotional problems. So most people who come into training, they come into it not only because they want to improve the way they look, but because they're struggling with something mentally. They are either struggling with their mental health or they just want to improve the way they feel. Training a lot of the time can help that. It can help people with their mental health, but it can also help people by giving people purpose, giving people a direction, and just filling the gap a little bit between that void that we all feel. And something I've been thinking about recently is the void that we all feel a lot of the time is due to wanting or needing something from the world. We lack something within us and we try to get it from the world. And we either try to get it through careers, through relationships, through training, through multiple different ways like drugs and alcohol. We will always try to fill that void within us by using something else. It took me till around 28 to realize that that was never going to work and that I needed to stop thinking that I was broken for being the way I was and starting to look at the strengths that I actually have. It was a long journey, a lot of therapy within that, but that in itself taught me that my strengths are what create me. And if I lean into those strengths and be proud of who I am, then I'll stop looking for something from someone else because I had to realize that who I was and the person that I am becoming is a person which is actually quite a good person who has a lot of strengths. And it meant that I stopped looking for something from the world because I realized that I was everything already. Not that I couldn't improve because I can, and not that I'd already had it all figured out because I don't. It was more along the lines of once I knew my strengths, I then could accept my weaknesses because I knew that if I was rooted in my strengths, I was strong enough in who I was that someone else coming into my life wouldn't change me. You see, I would naturally change myself and be a bit of a people pleaser because I wanted to please someone else and wanted to get their approval. And that is where that trying to get something from the world or from someone else comes into play. So if we're constantly trying to feel validated from someone or something, it means that we actually will just take out whatever that thing is and plug something else in once it doesn't fill the void. We have a relationship that doesn't make us feel as validated as we want to. So we take that out and we put it in with work and we get work to give us validation until that stops working and we take that out and then we do it through drugs or through friends or through this and through that. And all we're trying to do is mask something that we should actually figure out internally. My goal through this channel is to help people improve confidence, and I think it runs through 5 or 6 different layers. And I think physically sorting out the way you look is the first step, because I think if you can physically sort out the way you look, you will feel more confident in who you are. So the first 2 books that I plan to write is planning to be all about training. First one's going to be about fat loss. Second one's going to be about training. I also want to write a book about the progress pyramid. That is something that I've already written a load about, which is all about values and it's all about trying to basically get what you want from life. So achieving what you want and the process about how that works. The next one is about loving your partner and loving yourself. I want to do one about depression and I want to do one about purpose. So that is the direction. And that's because I think they all build on top of each other. If you can lose weight and you can feel confident in who you are, and then you can get bigger, fitter, and stronger. You'll achieve things through that. And then it becomes, how do we then fall in love with ourselves to be able to fall in love with someone else? And I think that they all kind of stack on top of each other. The goal is to produce YouTube videos. The goal is to have live videos once a week. And those live videos are to try to create the community of people trying to help people with their mental health. So my goal is to help men with their mental health. Obviously, women as well, but the main goal is men because I'm a man and I understand the problem that men kind of go through. And I don't really know the issues that females go through as much, but I do know what goes into confidence, and that is kind of universal. So trying to help people build confidence is the goal. And then once I have the books and once I have the fat loss course, is to give people free information to help people to, again, become more confident. And the reason this is the mission behind Hack the Body, Hack the Mind and myself is because I struggled with who I was for the longest period of time. I struggled with relationships. I struggled with not liking the way I looked. And the mission to try to help people to become more confident is driven from that. And that isn't a sob story to be like, I'm doing it because woe is me. I'm doing it because I know how bad it is. And I know how tough it is when you wake up and you don't like the person you are. You don't like what you see in the mirror. You don't like the person who's behind those eyes that are staring into the mirror. When you don't like yourself, it's a lot harder for you to achieve good things within the world. I think when I look back over my journey of entrepreneurship, it's actually just been a journey of myself learning to be okay being myself, to then be able to push on and actually do the things I should do from a business standpoint. I think I was my biggest barrier for the longest time, and dealing with my own mental health and dealing with my own struggles and my own mindset and my own idea of the world actually was the thing which allowed me to then push further forward and actually achieve the goals that I want to achieve. So all this being said, we have a free fat loss course which is going to start in August. If you want to join, please click the link below and please join it. If you want to be part of this community, please subscribe to the channel and come and join us on our lives. I don't know when they're going to be. They're going to be once a week, but I don't know when. And we're going to just talk through different topics depending on what they are. Training's a big part of my life. It's always been a big part of my life, and I'm going to talk about that through the live videos on how to improve your physique, how to improve your training, how to build some muscle, how to build some confidence. Once I've written those 2 books, we're going to push into things like relationships. We're going to push into things like becoming self-aware and becoming the person that you want to be. Those are all topics I'm extremely passionate about, but it's all linked within fitness. It's all linked within mental health and kind of physical well-being, but mental well-being as well. So my name's Charlie. This is Hack the Body, Hack the Mind. If you want to join and you want to come and support the community of people, click subscribe and come and join us on our lives. Thank you. See you soon.